Government has earned itself the unenviable reputation of being a late payer among small to medium enterprises doing business with the state. And further, a Small Business Institute survey earlier this year also found that some bigger businesses treat small ones as a line of credit, often paying SMEs months after services have been delivered. Now, lawyer and writer Christine Qunta has launched a consultancy with the sole aim to tackle public sector institutions that pay their suppliers late or fail to pay them. Joining us now to explain how the business will help secure payment for small enterprises doing business with the state is, of course, the executive chair of Pulusong Fee Mediation Services, Christine Qunta. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you very much for your time tonight. Tell me a little bit more about the establishment of the Pulusong Fee Mediation Services. How does it come about?
Good evening, Thabo, and good evening to your viewers. It came about because we saw that there's a major problem. It's not only government, it's also the private sector. But the reason why we thought we should deal with government is, well, first of all, government has a regulatory obligation in terms of the Public Finance Management Act. And also because government is the bigger procurer of goods, something in the region of 2019, it showed 800 billion. And for that reason, we focused on government. This has a major detrimental economic impact. And so what we decided is, because it happened to us too as a small business, and it doesn't only affect small business, it's also affecting large businesses, particularly in the construction sector, for instance. Yeah. And so what we've decided, rather than go the litigation route, we felt that alternative dispute resolution, fee facilitation, those strategies are likely to settle the matter much quicker than if you went the litigation route, which could sometimes take as long as 3 years. So what we do, we step in between the supplier and the public entity, and we negotiate, and we, in the first instance, try and secure an amicable settlement. And if that's not possible, we then escalate the matter to the accounting authority. And if that doesn't work, we then go to the Public Protector's Office and the National Treasury. Yeah. And we experience that is much faster, yeah, and in some instances more cost effective. And what our suppliers to do is to go to our website. There's a request form. They can do much of the interaction with us initially online.
Now, what do you think, in your view, leads to this non-payment or even late payments at some point, even amounting to billions? I mean, if we are using a conservative figure here, we are saying 25 billion. That is, of course, looking at 250,000 SMMEs and using an average there of about them being owed 99,000 rands or so. But what is behind this, right? Because you've got the PFMA, as you mentioned, that says pay your suppliers, especially small businesses, within 30 days. You hear the State of the Nation address. The President emphasized SMMEs will be paid in 30 days. Premier's State of the Province address, SMMEs will be paid in 30 days. State of the City addresses, mayors saying SMMEs will be paid in 30 days and other businesses. But it never happens.
The main reason is, Thabo, and we've identified that there are no consequences to officials. So at the political level, there is a will and there's sufficient legislative provisions for that. But the officials who actually press the button or has to process the invoices, they actually don't care whether they pay suppliers because, and here's the thing, every month they get their salary on time. They are therefore able to meet their financial commitments. They do not care an iota whether suppliers are able to do that. And the reason why they don't care is because there are no consequences. And the PFMA provides that officials like that should be subjected to disciplinary proceedings. But if you can find one official in government that has been disciplined and fired because of non-payment, then I would be very surprised. So they keep on doing the same thing because there are no consequences. And what our service does, We want to hold them directly responsible, because if you go to court, the fees for the legal action don't come out of their pockets. The public entity or the government department, they pay for the legal services, whereas the supplier, already cash strapped, has to pay for out of their own pocket. So litigation in this instance may not be the most effective way to deal and hold officials to account. But at the end of the day, for me, the key thing is that those officials keep on doing this because there are no consequences. They don't get disciplined, they don't get fired.
When we, of course, speak of a capable state, these things should be happening automatically. An agency like yours actually should not be having a place in the dealing with government, because those things should be happening correctly. You've got, for example, a response from Public Works and Infrastructure Minister. When she came in, she said, I'm going to make sure that every week I check invoices. I'm going to monitor if those people are paying. Of course, she's also got into a whole lot of trouble with the building of the bridge, of the gates, rather, the fence at Bay Bridge. Now, he's trying here to fast-track the processes. Do you think that kind of intervention is something that is required?
I think that is a very good start, because in addition to that, the Department of Public Works, which is a very good example, they actually on a monthly basis publish online on their website a list of outstanding payments. And I am assuming that as those outstanding invoices are paid, that they then remove them. So you are able to track performance. If every department did that, then we would probably be out of business, because this is a business for us, but it also provides a very badly needed, I think, social service, because, you know, the Xerox study, which you referred to earlier on, showed that on average, SMMEs spend 2 weeks per annum chasing officials, trying to get their money. And so what we do, we step in and say to the supplier, whether they're big or small, because we act for whoever is owed over 30 days, and we say to them, we will take over that task from you so that you can focus on the core of your business. The other thing is that if at the beginning of the lockdown, government had paid both government and the private sector paid all the outstanding invoices, an amount of 25 billion would have been injected into the economy. And I believe that if that was done, it could have made the difference between some businesses going down or liquidating or going into business rescue and thriving. So I think it's a very serious problem, and we believe that our service will assist in resolving that problem.
Yeah. How bad is the situation? You know, there's an assumption that probably it's mostly SMMEs that are hardest hit. But how bad is the situation when you're talking bigger businesses that have been at it for a while, and maybe sometimes they've even managed to build some reserves when it comes to cash flow issues in particular?
Thabo, I wrote an article for the Sunday Times on this, and one of the research I came across was with the Master Builders of South Africa commissioned a research which was done by the University of Johannesburg, and that research found that in 2018, the major problem encountered by construction companies, both big and small, were non-payment by both the private sector and by the public sector. So it affects all businesses. The only difference between the two is in that some instances, the major companies they have reserves which can tide them over, but even that, and especially for small businesses, because it means the money that you could have used to grow, you don't have that money. And as I say, some of them go out of business. So it's a very, very serious problem.
Yeah. How effective has been your intervention? What's your hit rate, so to speak?
Yes. Actually, we are launching it this week. It's a new service. And you can go onto our website, which is www.fee-facilitation, as in F for Freddy, double E, facilitation.co.za. And so the process that we are going to do, so if you have a problem and you are owed over 1 million over more than 30 days, you go onto our website, there's a request form, you fill in that request form, we look and you upload documents, and when you've uploaded those documents, we'll assess it. We have legal consultants and we have administrators. We'll establish and evaluate your case, and then we'll get back to you. And we believe, from our own experience, we believe that this service will work.
Now, I mean, from what we hear from SMMEs, I suspect, in fact, I envisage that hotline is going to be quite busy, and I hope your infrastructure will be able to handle all the complaints that you're about to receive of SMMEs not being paid out there. And what do you promise would be your turnaround time as far as resolving these issues?
Well, it will depend on what the nature of the problem is, because sometimes, to be fair to officials, it means that even suppliers have not submitted invoices properly, or there's outstanding documents, and so it will depend. But what we can guarantee, and we sincerely hope we're going to get busy, we've just launched this week, is that our turnaround time, there are specific targets that our administrators and legal consultants have, and to resolve the matter will take months, not years, as in litigation. That's the only guarantee we can give. It will not take years, because on the average, your litigation, especially when courts are congested and the entity opposes that, you are looking at between 1.5 years to 3 years. Whereas in our instance and with our business model, it will likely be taken, say, between 6 months to a year, but not more than that.